When was the last time imposter syndrome prevented you from effectively doing your best in order to achieve your goal? It can be a time when you need to compose an important business proposal or go to a big client meeting, throw a killer presentation, nail that job interview, or write that scholarship application. What did you do to overcome imposter syndrome in those situations? So welcome to the second episode of Compass Friday, where I will discuss with you how to manage imposter syndrome in the times we welcome it the least. Most of us don't want to experience imposter syndrome, right? But isn't it interesting how imposter syndrome always show up in the situations where we welcome it the least? In the first Compass Friday episode, which was last week, I have discussed what imposter syndrome is and what its symptoms look like. If you haven't seen that episode, I encourage you to find it on my page. Many people have found it informative, and I believe that you will too. In that episode, we have uncovered a myth that imposter syndrome won't be cured once and for all. It's likely to recur every time you step out of your comfort zone and try something new. However, there are several ways you can apply to manage the difficult experience that imposter syndrome brings and temporarily overcome the destructive effects of imposter syndrome in order to accomplish your task effectively. Now, I'd love to invite you to recall that situation when imposter syndrome was stressing you out so much that you were unable to do your best. And by unable to do your best, I mean either shying away from making decisions, taking action, or overtaking action and jumping into stress preparation. If you ask me that question, one of the times I felt imposter syndrome so unbearable for me was when I had to compose a consulting proposal for my first big client. Up to that point, I had been in business development for 5 years. It was not the first project where I was asked to strategize a go-to-market plan. However, it was the first time I did it on my own name as an independent consultant representing my own service. I was staring at the blank page on my computer screen and thinking, oh my God, I'm about to commit the biggest crime in my life. This company is going to lose money because I'm no real shit. I mean, what am I even doing pursuing this project? I'm not even familiar with this industry. Who am I to stand alone and offer service? This is for professional, not some amateur. What if they are going to find out? I'm just going to destroy my own name, if I had any. This is beyond me. I should just focus in my full-time job, which I was already not very happy about, and do what is in my league. So what's interesting here is this client found me and really wanted to work with me. But because of my imposter syndrome, I had initially refused the project. However, they kept inquiring and communicating with me. And therefore, I was trying to give myself a chance. But even in such an advantageous situation like that, when you are under the effect of imposter syndrome, your mind doesn't remember that. It discounts and disregards your own credits, or even use your credit against you and telling you that you have been over-evaluated, and that will make your failure even a bigger disappointment. So in important situations, like, why does it matter to manage this voice in our heads? Because I know that some of us may say, well, it's just a voice. You just need to do what you have to do, and then you move on. Well, that is partially true. Because if you think about it for a moment, how have taking actions from the place of unprocessed doubt and fear been serving you? That very doubt and fear will present in the actions you take, right? Have you listened to the story you tell others about your career when you doubt yourself? How ambitious are the business goals that you made under the influence of imposter syndrome? No matter how much you perform stress preparation, you don't believe that you are enough, and you still show up unconfident as if you didn't prepare at all. In my situation, the first draft of my business proposal sounded really reluctant, timid, and unambitious. It was as if there was just no value in working with me at all. And in other cases, I may have overpromised because I was compensating for my lack of confidence. So when we always take actions under the influence of imposter syndrome over time, we build a tendency of playing small, avoiding risk, and eventually shrink our confident muscles until we are just unable to step out of our comfort zone at all. The effect of taking actions after processing imposter syndrome is entirely opposite. You can begin to remember the qualification, the competencies, the qualities that you have to accomplish the task. You can look at the narrative about yourself from a different angle and rewrite it into a self-affirmative story. And as a result, you will present yourself in a more confident, reliable, and powerful disposition so that you can win that business opportunity, you can win the job that you like, and you can achieve a goal more effectively. And that was what happened after my second draft of the consulting proposal that led to a prolonged cooperation with my client. So what to do to manage imposter syndrome in an important situation like this? Now, this process is a 3-step process that I call the AAA process because it's spelled AAA, allow, acknowledge, and accept. I'd love to note that this process that I'm going to share with you is what I have been practicing for years and also experimented with my coaches, but they are not blueprints or a prescription, and they may not fit everyone. So now the first step before we proceed with this process is to prepare. When you notice that the critic voice or the imposter syndrome voice appear in your head and you start experiencing intense emotions, I would recommend you to find a safe and quiet space. Now, it is ideal for you to be alone. Usually we turn to our friend or our partner for comfort, right? And that's healthy if that person also knows how to help you overcome its imposter syndrome. However, most of the time, our friends, our parents, our partner are not equipped with managing difficult emotions, because the general tendency of human being is to avoid difficult emotions. We numb it, we repress it, we push it away, we run away from it, which will only intensify or prolong the difficult emotion caused by imposter syndrome. So if you don't think that this person can help you or know how to help you to overcome imposter syndrome, I'll encourage you to find a safe and quiet space where you can be just on your own. Right? So when you already prepare by putting yourself in a safe and quiet space, you can proceed with the first step in this AAA process is to allow yourself to experience this difficult emotion of imposter syndrome. Remember that stressful emotions are behind our stressful decisions. If we can diffuse our stressful emotions, then we can take decisions from a better place. We can make more effective decisions. So don't try to resist these stressful emotions, no matter how difficult they can be. Because what you resist persists. What you resist persists. So stop yourself from saying, why am I feeling this way? I don't have to feel this way. This is stupid. It's not worth it. And try to push away this feeling of doubt and fear. Or also stop yourself from punishing yourself by saying, well, get yourself together. You shouldn't be so weak and emotional. This is not the time to whip. Just get your ass together and get things done. Don't punish yourself that way either. I'm really not a big fan of the tough love. But for me, that is really not love at all. That's just being unkind to yourself. So if you have been doing that, then I'd love for you to stop that and instead practice the exact opposite. Give yourself some time to sit with yourself and allow yourself to experience any emotions that you feel in your body. Stressful emotions are like a boiling bowl of soup that is producing so much steam inside the bowl. What you need to do is to open the lid in order for the steam to get out and diffuse. Otherwise, it will bottle up inside the bowl and will overflow. And if we don't want that to happen in cooking, then we don't want that to happen in any other situation in life. So you can use mindfulness here to be with your emotions. And by being with your emotions, I mean allowing them to be felt across your body. Notice how those emotions appear in the body, which sensation arise at which part of the body. Observe them, let them be, without any attempt to change or control or overcome these emotions and sensations. Now, usually for me, when I experience imposter syndrome and in that particular situation, I experience intense emotions. My head would be so messy and so dizzy that my vision become blur and narrow and intensify. My shoulder will feel and my chest will experience ache because my heart was accelerating and my breath began shorter. I was ventilating and my stomach was contracting as well. And even my back, because the shoulders ring, right? So the back suffer as well. So you need to sit with yourself and observe all of these emotions and sensations. This will help you to release difficult emotions by creating space for them to express in the body and be seen. When difficult emotions are released, they are likely to reduce. When they are released, they are reduced. Like the steam in our boiling bowl of soup. When you open the lid, then they're gone. Now, when you are able to notice your emotions and sensations, it's time to take the second step. Here is acknowledge. Try identifying them by their name, verbally or in written words. Saying or writing down, I'm experiencing blank, and fill in the emotion. I'm experiencing fear. I'm experiencing doubt. I'm experiencing anxiety. You can also verbalize or write down the other thoughts that you have, like fear and doubt make me think I'm not good enough for this. Fear and doubt make me think I will fail. Fear and doubt make me think I will destroy my reputation. Fear and doubt make me think people will discover how big a fraud I am. Remember to say, I'm experiencing blank. Fill in the emotions. And that emotion make me think blank. Fill in the thoughts. This will help you to acknowledge your emotion in a safe way by creating a distance between yourself and your stressful emotion, or between yourself and your stressful thoughts, so that you can take actions without their influence. We want to verbalize and write down these acknowledgements because we want to make them visible or hearable, therefore turning them into tangible concepts. Because emotions and thoughts are very fast, they are messy, they're unconscious, and usually they stay in the mind. If we don't tangibilize them by saying them out loud or writing them down, then we don't see them. If we don't see them, then how can we manage them? Right? Now, after you say or you write, I'm experiencing fear, I'm experiencing doubt, you call them out. Right before, they were hiding in your mind in the mess of your thoughts, but now you call them out and you invite them out in order for you to work with them. Just by making this step, you already reduce the negative power or the negative influence that they are making on you by calling them out. When we see them, they are not hiding anymore. They are not in the dark anymore. So when you have acknowledged these stressful emotions and thoughts, the last step here is to accept, give them permission to exist and befriend them. Usually our tendency to deal with difficult emotions and thoughts is, as I said earlier, to repress, to numb, to shoo them away, or to deny them, to ignore them, to neglect them. But whatever we resist, persists, right? So do the exact opposite of that, and not just allow them, acknowledge them, but take one step further to accept them. We also need to say out loud or to write to yourself that I accept fear, I accept doubt, I accept anxiety. If you can, even identify these emotions as persons. Give them names and talk to them as if they're your friends. For example, saying, I see you, Mr. Fear. I see you, Mrs. Doubt. I accept you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for visiting me. Have a seat. Stay as long as you want. What do you want to tell me? What is it that you are here to tell me? So continue to give permission to your stressful thought by also using the phrase like, I'm willing to. Fill in the consequence that you're afraid of. For example, the thought was, I'm not good enough. Now become, I'm willing to learn and grow. I'm willing to make mistakes. If the thought was, I will fail and destroy my reputation, then it will now become, I'm willing to experience failure. I'm willing to risk my reputation. I'm willing to risk what others think of me. Do you feel how empowering these new statements are? And when you apply this technique, this process into your own situation, you will feel the empowerment in your body as well. because now you are no longer the victim of imposter syndrome, right? You now can see the emotions and the thought. You can call them out. You even accept them. You are no longer afraid of the consequence. You are now willing to take risks, accept failures in your life. And that is extremely powerful. It doesn't mean that you will fail and you want to fail. It doesn't mean that you are going to sabotage everything by saying that I'm willing to experience failure. It just means that you are willing to take this risk. And you will make decisions from that place of empowerment, confidence, and faith. Therefore, your actions will be bolder, more ambitious. Even if you still experience fear, acknowledge that you are willing to accept failure and willing to take risks has an important shift in your mind that encourages you to take whatever actions that you want to or you need to, despite the feeling of fear and doubt. So that is the last step of this 3-step process: allow, acknowledge, and accept. In my own experience, I have practiced this step for years now. In the particular situation where I needed to compose a consulting proposal, these techniques were powerful tools that helped me to overcome the emotion tornadoes swirling in my head and diffuse them throughout my body, and help me to regain the inner strength that I need to complete the task with courage, with confidence, and with faith. I also love to note that overcoming imposter syndrome doesn't mean faking confidence and pushing for arrogance here. It doesn't mean that we're perfect and we have it all. It just means that we need to return ourselves to a calm, kind, and balanced state in order for us to make the right decision, in order for us to recall our true ability. Sometimes I would find that I already had the experience relating to the task from another project, but I forgot or overlooked because I was experiencing imposter syndrome. But some other time, I would find that, well, I need to practice a skill. I need to acquire support in order for me to achieve that goal. And that's realistic too. So recalling our true ability here helps us understand that we have potential, which means that what we know of ourselves is only the tip of an iceberg. And that means we need to continue learning, exploring, and growing to uncover more of our potential, the hidden part of the iceberg, right? It doesn't mean that we're already perfect, that we have it all. So it eventually cultivates a healthy sense of confidence that we believe and have faith in our own ability, but at the same time, nurturing a sense of humility that we always need to learn and grow. And that is what authentic confidence actually looks like. So I've just shared with you the 3 steps to overcome imposter syndrome when you really have to push through. I know that many of our audience here have amazing tips and techniques in this area. So I hope that you will share with me and others to spread the wisdom and offer the piece of advice that someone might need in order to move forward. There is still a special practice that I haven't shared in this video because I think we're running out of time, which is actually my personal favorite. It's called the Redonkulus exercise. Inspired by both acceptance and commitment therapy and Harry Potter. So if you are a Potterhead, then well, let's discuss about that in another video or another post. And if you're not a fan of Harry Potter, then how dare you? So basically, if you would like to know about this Redonkulus exercise, then just leave a comment or message me and I will arrange a video or post for that. All right, thank you very much for watching this second episode of Compass Friday. I hope you will enjoy your Christmas. Stay confident, stay safe, stay warm, and stay happy. See you in the next Compass Friday episode. Goodbye.